Hey there, and thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Heather Thompson. I am a Clarity Life Coach for women, an author, and a speaker based in the greater Atlanta, Georgia area. And my purpose and my passion is transforming worn out women into whole women through clarity-based coaching. Now, for those of you saying exactly what does that mean? I mean that my work with you is to help you get to the root of who you are and what you need by exploring where you've been, what you're called to, and what needs to be shed. It means what you need to get rid of to live out the ideal version of your best life. Clarity Life Coach. So we are now in the fourth quarter at the time of this recording of this year and in the fall season. And while people in the South, like me, who are so incredibly grateful right now that the humidity is slowly receding and extreme heat is finally beginning to go away, even though we're in the 90s, thank goodness for that. It is also means this is a time for a lot of reflection, a time for great reflection. This is especially true for business owners because you're in the final stretch of the year and you're assessing your sales numbers, determining what kind of impact that you've made throughout the year for your clients and your customers. And also you are planning products and sales to get ready to close out the year because we're coming into the holiday season and there are a lot of people shopping and planning and want to shop with you. So you know how people say that the struggle can be real when it comes to, well, virtually anything these days? It's especially said when it comes to business owners and career-driven people, but it can apply anywhere. However, here's what many people aren't saying about that. The struggle is only as real as you allow it to be. The struggle is only as real as you allow it to be. And I mean this across the board, whether it's with love, whether it's with relatives, in business, on your job, anything can be difficult. But it can also be made better and more efficient and more effective depending upon how you see it, how you shift it in your mind, and strategize for and around it. With that said, our focus tonight is how to win, W.I.N, in the fourth quarter and into 2020. So go ahead and get your notepad, get your business journal or your keyboard ready because it is definitely note-taking time. Now from the video title, you likely noticed that WIN is an acronym. I'm not just saying the word itself. So let's go ahead and break that down. The first step to winning in this this final quarter is our number one. Know your where and be willing to work for it. Number one, know your where and be willing to work for it. Now this goes back to the portion of how you see it. Do you know what your particular goal is right now? What it is that you need to accomplish? What is it that you want or need for your particular goal? I want you to identify it and then keep it in front of you. This is knowing your where. Where you want to go needs the fuel for where you want to go needs the fuel of you being willing to work for it. I'll repeat that. Where you want to go needs the fuel of you being willing to work for it. Your desire, your work ethic, your willingness to go for it. That's the fuel to get to where you want to go. So let's get into some examples. If you want a better marriage, you can seek couples therapy, go to counseling. You can speak to experienced mentors who can help you understand what you need best. You can plan a vacation, a romantic getaway that's just for the two of you where you can reconnect. If what you want and your goal is a better job, you can get your resume professionally redone. You can make sure that your references are up to par, that the people you say are there for you are actually going to be there, and that your interviewing skills are up to date. Be clear about what you really want this time around. Get a clear vision of it in your mind. Write it out and seek experiences, those particular job opportunities that mirror what you've written, and include your skill set and your background when you're looking. There's no more time for vagueness or saying, oh, I just don't know, but I know that I want something different. No. Be intentional, be specific, and go after what you want with intensity. Now is not the time for weakness. Now is the time for your power. Know your where, which was number 1, and be willing to work for it. So on to number 2, which brings us to the I in WIN. Investigate. Investigate yourself, your motives, and the road ahead. Investigate yourself, your motives, and the road ahead. One of my favorite quotes is by the famous philosopher Socrates, and he said that to know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. Pretty great idea there. The same idea applies here. In addition to knowing where you want to go and being willing to work for it, you need to know what it takes to get there. That better marriage you want through those counseling sessions, it may mean digging up some things, talking about some stuff that you and your partner have swept under the rug. Do you have friends to speak with that can handle the hard times you experience as well as the high times? Do you all have safe spaces, you and your spouse, that you can retreat to when the things that you learn are a bit too much and you may need a quick break so that you can come together and speak to each other with respect and not hostility? Or if your focus again is improving your career, continuing on with the idea of a better job or going into business for yourself. Now that you say you plan on leaving your job, do you have emergency cash saved up in case job hunting takes longer than you planned? In the Atlanta area, it can genuinely take on average up to 4 months to find a new job. That's a shock for a lot of people. But this is why those people who are experts in that category say make sure you have 3 to 6 months of income saved up before you make a major move. Everybody doesn't, but that's a tip for you. For the business that you want to start, in case that's your dream, what capital do you have reserved to help with your initial startup costs? Have you communicated to your family and friends what you may need from them to assist you in these early days? These are all conversations worth having, and the situations will vary from person to person. But do the legwork. Find out what you need. Investigate what is required. Know what you want as well as why you want it for yourself. That is it's important. Because if the why is too thin, so will your efforts be in trying to reach your goal. You don't need a plan that falls apart with the slightest breeze. You need a steel backbone and a strong foundation to uphold the dreams that you're working toward. It's crucial. I heard one of my favorite coaches and speakers, the incredible Lisa Nichols. She talked about this during a stellar Google talk that she did a while back, I think about a few years ago. Now, she walked this very excited wife and mother in the audience through planning to leave her job and live abroad, work abroad, with her husband and their 2 young children in approximately 2 years from the time of that recording. So basically, this woman is saying, I want to live abroad and I want to work abroad with my husband and my kids right there with me. I'm ready to leave the United States. So Lisa congratulated her plan to go in 2 years and brilliantly told her, and I'll paraphrase here, okay, you know where you're going, but here's what I need you to do. Know exactly how you want to get there. The plane that you plan to ride. Say which make and model it will be. Write this down. Talk about the exact luggage that you plan to buy and pack. The color, the manufacturer. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What time of day will you fly out? What airline are you going on? What will all of this look like? Get it in your mind. Map it out until it's as clear as day. Even if the details change, that's okay. You still know where you're going and you can work towards that vision. That's what she said, essentially. So do you get it? That, my friends, is very intentional. And it's how you investigate yourself, your motives, and the road ahead. And after all of that investigation, we move on to key number 3. Know your non-negotiables and stick to them. Know your non-negotiables and stick to them. Now, how many of you have heard the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions? That same thought applies here. Even though that imagery is pretty bleak, it's true. Many times we think we know what our boundaries are until we're tested. We think we know how far we're willing to push day in and day out for something because the idea of being all in, something people love to say, it sounds so sexy these days, doesn't it? It's powerful, it's respectable, and it's motivational to hear someone say, until I get what I want here, until I reach my goal, I'm all in. I'm not turning back. Well, the road to success is paved with many failures. There are a lot of stops and starts to where you're going. A lot of false starts too. And after so many of those, people tend to cave. You have friends that will fall away. You have opportunities that look like golden open doors turn into dust. This is where, when these things happen, you have to make all of your sacrifice, all of the changes you've made, and all of the hours that you've invested worth it. You have to say, what has becoming this new person cost me, and what would derail me from that person and the purpose I have? If you know you have friends that don't appreciate your marriage because they liked you better when you were single simply because they have reservations about marriage, that friendship has either got to be modified or ended. You may have to sit down with them in kindness, mind you, but be firm and explain who you are now and what's not changing. If you all can't come to a respectable agreement, then hey, the relationship, it may have to end. If you know you want to cave and the business is your goal, and you say, forget this new job search or business idea because this feels too uncomfortable and I'm freaking out, or it's not working, then you need to share what's going on with people who will hold you accountable to your new path and give them permission. This is painful now, to call you out on your stuff when you want to abandon ship, because it can happen and it will most likely happen. Have a circle around you. Have a good circle who will push you off the diving board when you're too scared to jump in the water yourself. I'll say that again. You're going to need to have a circle around you, no matter what your goal is, who will push you off the diving board when you're too scared to jump in the water yourself. Who's going to push you? If you're going all in on whatever your new path is, then you've got to go all out and walk it out until the finish line. What aren't you going back to? You need to know that. Who can't you be anymore? You need to know that too. Who can't you be around anymore as you're becoming this new you with the new normal? These are important questions you have to ask yourself, and don't lie about the answers. Know your non-negotiables and stick to them. So to recap, number 1, the W, where and your work. Know your where and be willing to work for it. Number 2, the I, investigate. Investigate yourself, your motives, and the road ahead. And number 3, the N, your non-negotiables. Know your non-negotiables and stick to them. This is how you win in the fourth quarter and into 2020. So I thank you so much for your time today. Again, I am Heather Thompson, Clarity Life Coach for Women, author, and speaker. It has been a pleasure to be with you. And I'm leaving all of my contact information in the field below so that way you can reach me. And in reaching me, if you enjoyed this content, by all means, get more. You can join my mailing list via my website, and you can automatically sign up for my free investment into your development, my course called Declutter, 5 ways to clear up your emotions, your life, and your home. Don't we all need that? So thank you again for your time. I do appreciate it. And as I always say at the end of my videos, if you feel that you're not having a good day, make it one. It is still within your power to do so. God bless, take care, and I'll see you soon.